Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We are the Woodlawn Restorative Justice Hub. We're located in Chicago. As you can see on the screen, our telephone number is 312-738-1060. If you would like to call in and have some questions for us, we're a new hub in the Woodlawn area, and I have a very special guest with me this afternoon. I'm going to let her introduce herself and tell us a little bit about herself.
My name is Nikeria Walker. I joined the hub because I was interested in the things that they had going on. The activities were very interesting, so I had got into the program.
Great, great. How did you hear about it?
I actually came with a friend,
Mm-hmm.
driving my friend there, and I sat and I listened to all the things that they had going on. So I decided to join.
Excellent, excellent. Tell us a little bit about yourself. What do you like to do? What's your joy? What's the thing that you like to do most?
I like to dance, do hair.
Mm-hmm.
I like to do a lot of stuff.
Oh, great. So you're creative, basically, right?
Yes.
Right, right. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the Restorative Justice Hub. Can you tell me a little bit about what you're experiencing while you're in the hub, and a little bit of some of the things that you've done?
Well, we had our groups that we be in. We come together. We talk about our lives and what we learned and life learned experiences. We have experience going to studios, seeing all of the plaques and things that different artists had made,
Mm-hmm.
things like that.
Okay, great. Great. What's going on in the city for everybody to kind of want to help the youth? I mean, can you tell us a little bit about your life and street life and what it is that you think that we as a community need to do to make life better?
Well, get more of the people that are out on the streets in school or in activities that they like so that they won't be out on the streets. Less shooting. Try to get the youth into a lot of little different projects and things that they might like to keep them off the streets.
Okay, what's going on in the streets? Why all this shooting, why all this killing? How is it to find jobs, to find something to do even for the summer months? Give us a little bit about what you've kind of witnessed or know about one way or the other that's going on so that we get a really good picture of what's going on so that we can help.
Well, what I experienced is seeing a lot of young males and females out on the street, not doing anything with themselves. Basically, just posted around on the block, doing nothing, and that's how, different things occur as far as shooting and different gang related things and things like that.
Okay. In the area that you live, let's just say North Side, we're just throwing something out in general. What is the feeling of the youth that are in the community? Do they feel like they've been abandoned? Do they feel like they don't have any means to do something? I guess everybody's really trying to figure out what is going on that we're taking it ourselves out, because we come up against so many factions that want to eliminate us. How do we fix this? What's going on?
A lot of young children probably do feel abandoned. Everybody have their own, personal things that they go through. So, yeah, they probably feel abandoned by family or friends, or probably get picked on, things like that. So, the things that we can probably do is try to get along, basically, and try to just stop all the violence and killing and let the youth have a life to live instead of killing them all off.
How's the job situation?
Jobs, basically, a lot of people make it hard for young people to get jobs, especially off their history.
Mm-hmm.
If they got a background, they don't want to give them a job. And I feel like they shouldn't do that, because making it hard for them make them go out and sell drugs or, do different negative activities that they shouldn't be in because they feel like they can't get a job.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm. If we were to get some people together and get some job training happening, if we were to invest in the youth, do you think it would turn it around? Do you actually think it would turn it around?
yeah, it probably would.
So let me ask you one more question before you've given us a lot of information, and you're very beautiful. You're very beautiful. You're very intelligent. I'd like to know If you had a dream to come true, if you were really, really in a place where you had training, where you could further your education, you could have money to take care of yourself, take care of home, take care of your parents or siblings, what is it that you would like to do? And what would you like to see us do to help you achieve that goal?
Probably dance choreography.
You're a dancer.
Yes.
Is that your passion?
Yes.
Really? Are you good at it?
Yes.
Okay, there are a lot of dance houses here. There are very famous choreographers here. I think even on State Street, you got a division of Alvin Ailey and all of these people. Have you pursued it any kind of way?
In high school, I was on the dance team. I was on the
Mm-hmm.
pom-pom team. And then once I got out of high school, I joined another dance team.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just like in a lot of different dance teams and pom-pom teams and things like that.
Okay, so do you think if a famous choreographer came to Chicago, to the north side of Chicago, and saw you, do you think they'd snatch you up?
Yes.
Do you think you'd be a star?
Yes.
Would you reach back to help those in your community who are aspiring to do the same?
Yes.
I think we're going to hear big things from you. And blessings upon you. Thank you for taking the time out to come today
No
in
problem.
all that traffic.
Yes.
Don't you think for 1 minute we didn't know what it took for you to get here and get some of the other members here. So we are more than appreciative, and I wish you the absolute best. I think
Thank
we'll
you.
hear big things from you. And if you've got any callers out there that have any questions for her, we're going to give you a couple minutes to call in, and we'd like to know what your views are. We're going to give you our information. Let's first do the call number that's on the bottom of your screen there, and that is 312-738-1060. And we're going to tell you a little bit of how to reach us, and that is the Woodlawn Restorative Justice Hub. The acronym is WRJ Hub, and that phone number is 773-536-9317. Our email address is wrjhub@gmail.com. So let me go over that again. I stumbled on that a little bit. That's the Woodlawn Restorative Justice Hub. WRJ Hub is the acronym, and the telephone number is 773-536-9317. Our email address is wrjhub@gmail.com. And we have another guest here. Right now we have, your name is?
I'm Kiana Butler.
Miss Butler, thank you for coming today. We'd like you to talk a little bit about your neighborhood. We'd like you to, for our viewers, give us a little bit of information about yourself. And then we're going to ask you some very personal questions about what you see going on in the street and what we can do to help. So let's start it first. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, my name's Kiana Butler.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy culinary arts. I enjoy taking care of kids and being involved in the community. I've been within the restorative justice program. This is my second year doing it. So I'm actually helping out this time around. And
Good.
I'm very happy. I'm very excited about being here. And that's pretty much.
All right, tell me a little bit about what you see going on in the community right now. What is going on?
Within the community, a lot of the problems that we are facing is problems within homes of the people who are on the streets. It all starts from home, and that's how I see it. And the reason that a lot of people are doing the things they do is because there wasn't nobody to raise them. You had kids raising their own brothers and sisters because mama was probably on drugs or at work. You got daddy who either on drugs or in jail. And it's very unfortunate that a lot of kids was raised in a community like that. I'm not blaming the parents because it was a lot of things that was thrown in their way and barriers that was thrown in their way to put them at a point where now the kids don't have good teaching or good morals or good life lessons to learn because they wasn't taught that. They were taught, I have to strive and survive on my own. That's why they go out. That's why you have a lot of drug dealers. That's why we have a lot of gang members, because the gang members found brothers and sisters and daddies and mamas and the people that was in the streets because they didn't have that at home. And then the ones that did have it at home, well, they seeing all their friends outside at this point, or they seeing all their homies outside, so now they want to be outside too. because nobody wants to be left alone and nobody wants to be an outcast. So it got to a point that it's no restoring, but it is restoring. It got to that point where you have to really think about the kids, and you can't think about it got to the point you can't think about the teenagers no more. You have to start with the little kids, because they're the ones that's going to be the future now, because the ones that's already in the streets, it's going to be harder to pull them out of the streets.
So you're saying pretty much babies are raising babies. There's no structure in the home. You're saying that there's nobody even lending a hand for the basic needs of what needs to happen in the home. These kids are just kind of left out to themselves. Do you think that's why there's so much violence? Do you think that that's why we can't seem to reach them?
That's exactly why, because it got to a point where kids are not listening to the adults anymore, because the adults were missing for so long in some of these kids' lives that they don't even know how to trust adults anymore.
So okay, you nailed that. So you're basically saying there is no trust between the youth and adults, because the adults have not been there from conception on, say, to do any kind of a time investment in them?
That's exactly what I'm saying. There's no respect with the adults or the kids. The adults don't respect the kids, and the kids don't respect the adults. So it'll never be a complete structure until you get the kids to understand that, okay, that is still an elder. You have to respect them. But then again, you have to think about how some of these elders talk to these children and put them all in the same category as you're a bad child or you're a bad person. Because I've heard adults say that.
Wow, we have a caller. Caller, you're on the air. Caller?
Hello?
Hello, how are you, sir?
Hello?
Hello? Hi,
Yes.
how are you doing?
We're doing well. How are
I'd
you?
like to ask a question, and I just want to be frank. First of all, I really am enjoying your show.
Thank you.
And I'm really, really glad to see some young people on the air. Let me ask you this. Do you think that young people need to wait before they have children? I mean, at what age is the right age before venturing out and starting on your own, starting a family and taking on that responsibility?
In my true, honest opinion, I don't see it as babies raising babies all the time, because you have adult parents who don't know how to raise their children, that still go out to the club, that still go out partying, and you have young mothers who are taking care of home and taking care of their child, making sure their child eat every day. So I really wouldn't say that it's people having babies at young ages. It's people with young minds having babies at young ages, or people with young minds having baby at old ages. That's how I see it.
Mm-hmm. So I think she's saying, sir, it's the level of maturity versus age. There's got to be something done where we can look forward to teaching people how to raise children who have not been raised themselves. But the bottom line is we have a lot of people who are already here, who are in a big mess, who need someone to come and guide them, or at least reach back. You know, there are a lot of us who made it in the 60s and 70s. We never reached back. We were so busy getting ourselves established that we did not take the time to really see that there is a need here. And it starts with us. But I thank you for your call. Did we answer your question? Are you still with us? Well, it looks like we've lost him, but we just want to thank him for the call. And if you want to ask us, because we're here to really try to explain what is going on from our point of view of what we're seeing, we're going to invite you to call that number at the bottom of your screen, which is 312-738-1060, and I hope we answered his question. Let's give you a little bit of information of who we are. And we are the Restorative Justice Hub. We are WRJ Hub, that's our acronym. And that phone number is 1-773-536-9317. Once again, the telephone number, if you want to get some information about the Restorative Justice Hub, that telephone number is 773-536-9317. Our email address is wrjhub@gmail.com. And once again, we've got you back. Hey, I'm glad you came back to speak with us a little bit. We need to know a little bit. We had the one caller who was talking about the age of parents. Do you think that that's relative, or is it just the fact that we need to clean up some of the mess that older parents have created?
Well, yes, we do need to clean up the mess that some older people have created. I'm not going to say that all older people are bad parents, because it's a lot of good parents out here. I just don't want to say that, oh, it's a lot of bad parents, and don't give the good parents their props. Thank you to the good parents out here that are
Kudos.
helping, that is helping their children get through this crazy world. Yes, there are a lot of young people out here having children, and some people are not ready to have a child. They're just out here having them because they see their friends having them, and you know, things like that, or trying to keep a hold of a man, or a man trying to hold a female. So yes, a lot of people young adults are out here having children for the wrong reason, and they're not raising them right. So,
can you tell me a little bit about the teenagers versus the little kids? There was such a fervor raised over the killing of the 9-year-old baby that was lured into the alley. And I need you to talk a little bit about what we can do, especially your generation, because maybe Kiana made a point about they don't trust older adults. What can we do to save these babies now? What's going on?
Well, people my age that have children that want to gang bang and be out here on the streets, they need to think about it. They're not only coming after you. Once they see that you have loved ones that you love, they're going to come after your loved ones. So if you don't want anything to happen to your loved ones, or your child, or your mother, or your grandparents, or things like that, you should think about what you do ahead of time.
Okay, we've got another caller. Caller, you're on the air.
Yes, good evening.
Good evening.
There's a lot of politicians and a lot of city leaders. They're always saying that they're out there to help, and they want to make a difference. When we're talking about the younger generation and all of the violence and other things that are going on in their lives. My question is it working, or is it all just rhetoric? Because exactly how can these leaders, these police officers, whomever in the community, how can they actually relate to these folks, and boots on the ground type thing?
You want to answer that?
Okay, his question was, how can they relate to us?
You're saying that there's a lot of rhetoric and a lot of posing and not a lot of help going on. Was this your question, sir?
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Do you want to answer that, or you want me to answer?
Well, I do feel like they're not helping as much as they can help. It's a lot of policemen out here that are just killing just to kill because they have that title, or that they have that badge, so they feel like they can just do whatever they want. And it is some people out here that are actually trying to help. So it's like a 50-50 situation. Some people are trying to help, and some people are not. They just taking the title and running with it, basically.
I'd like to add a little bit to that. There are some people who are really actively out there. They have an investment in the community. You see a lot of activists who are not just posing. They got their lives on the line, trying to make a difference. This thing that's going on with the police department, I would tend to say, is basically a form of miscommunication. Something's gone wrong now, where you can feel you can shoot somebody 18 times, or something's wrong. Maybe they need to really see the community as human beings and not as people who have a tendency to rob, to steal, to you lose that human element. Now is going to make a big difference when people are trying to communicate. So I don't think everybody's posing. I look at Father Flager. I look at what Jesse Jackson did in the 70s, 80s, 90s, till today. I look at a lot of mothers who are standing on the front line, who have lost their kids, who are out there marching in the streets, laying in the streets. You have Philip Jackson with the Black Star Project. You have the WRJ Hub, who's actively committed. And there are these hubs all over the city. We're the new one in Woodlawn. We're putting ourselves on the line to make a difference. But I don't think it's just posing. And I think a lot of this a lot of it depends upon the ability to work, to take care of yourself, and to take care of your family. But that was a really good question. Thank you, caller. I want to thank our two guests. We're going to do a part 2 of this, and we have some gentlemen who are here to speak with us today about what life is like in the streets and how they're being viewed, how they're being disrespected, how they're the need for jobs to be able to take care of not only themselves but to take care of their family. And we're very, very grateful to CAN TV for this platform so that we can kind of reach in the homes and see what's going on. I'll take one more call and then we're going to cut out for a minute, but we'll be right back. Caller, you're on the air.
Hi there, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you very well.
My question is about why that when we talk about, gun control, nobody talks about gun responsibility. It's not like we want to take away the rights of the First Amendment to people to bear guns. We just want people to be responsible for the guns. How can you go to a gun dealer and buy 20 guns and then you don't know where any of them are? What do they think? They evaporated? You're more responsible. We require people to be, we're not taking people's right to drive. Everybody has a right to drive, but sure, you got to qualify and be responsible for the car that you buy. And we're more responsible for the cars that we buy than the guns that we own.
Well, sir, I understand your point, because we're going to have to cut off for just a second, but let me address this with you. A lot of the guns that are coming into the community that people are misusing, they're illegal guns. This stuff is not bought and sold other than the purpose of hoping that we take each other out. So you can say about the gun control, and people have a right to bear arms, but how are you going to use it responsibly when you're bringing them in illegally and hoping that kids take each other out? Do you have a point? Can you explain?
Well, we know that there's no guns made in Chicago. I mean, whoever manufactures them should be responsible for the guns until somebody else signs off of it. You don't see General Motors standing in the street giving cars away, and to nobody who they don't know who it is. You have to sign and register, and they can track the cars no matter where they are in the country.
But to your point, before we go, let me say, sir, that I agree with you. But the bottom line is that's not how this is structured. This is a purposeful ploy to make sure that we take each other out. So thank you for calling for that. And I really do believe there is a right to bear arms and there is a right to be responsible for them. But that is not what's going on in the streets of Chicago. So I want to thank you guys for calling in and being a part of this. And we're going to do a part 2 of this right following behind here. So I want to thank you so much, and CAN TV, for having us on once again. We are the WRJ Hub, Woodlawn Restorative Justice Hub. I'm Joyce Faison, and my guest is
Nigeria Walker.
All right, thank you so much. We'll be right back. Our telephone number is 773-536-9317. Our email address is wrjhub@gmail.com. Ladies and gentlemen, we're back. We're doing a 2-part series today with the RJ Hub. It's the Woodlawn Restorative Justice Hub in Chicago. And if you have any questions while we're on the air for this hour, please call 312-738-1060. And once again, we are the WRJ Hub, and we have a guest with us today. And your name is, sir?
My name is Sean Miller.
Sean Miller. Can you tell us a little bit about the Hub activity you've experienced in the last couple months, what the Hub is about, and how you feel it really helps you?
I mean, it's about, keeping youth off the streets, like stop the gun violence. It kind of brings people together, people from all over the, neighborhoods. I mean, I learned a lot here, how to deal with money, like the music industry. Like yesterday we went to a studio, I learned a lot there, like how to engineer and stuff like that.
A recording studio?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess that's all I can really say right now.
What's going on where you live? Tell us a little bit about how life is affecting you, how the streets are affecting you, how all of these political positioning campaigns, all of this. How is this affecting you? Is it really making a difference? Are people really trying to help? Or are people just posturing? We had a caller a little bit early in the first half of the show. Talk a little bit about that. What do you think is going on? And do you think people are really trying to help is the question.
I mean, you know, it's dangerous out there. You know, you can barely walk to the store. You know, you can barely take your kids to the park. You know, you can barely do a lot of things because there's so much shooting going on. You feel?
Yeah, that's deep. What you mentioned about the kids. Tell me a little bit. What are little kids seeing, and what are teenagers seeing?
They seeing what the grown folks do. You know, selling drugs, fighting. You know, shooting guns. You know, they see all that. So you know, by them seeing that, it kind of make them want to do it. So that creates more violence. So how can you stop violence if you got your kids out here and, you know, young people watching what you do?
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it's kind of hard to, you know, tell them don't do this and do that when they see you do that all day and they think it's fine.
Mm-hmm. So they're just redoing what they see.
Right, it's a cycle.
What do you think about people who say, quote unquote, that they want to put some money into the communities, that they want to be able to help these youths get jobs, that they want to end the violence? What's going on with the gun situation? Who's bringing the guns in? Not that you personally know, but I mean, people. We had a caller earlier, and he talked about that there should be some responsibility with guns, but these are illegal guns coming in, right?
Yeah, I think it was like, I'd say like 2013, they had a freight train come through Inglewood with about I think it was like 8 assault rifles on them.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you have that come through Inglewood, knowing it's probably somebody trying to see what's in the freights? You know, it could be clothes or shoes or anything, but it just happened to be guns.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they probably be thinking like, okay, let's send it through there and let's see what'll happen. And
right. So you think that all of this violence is being staged, is what you're saying?
Yeah, it's like they helping us create the violence. You know, we ain't going across seas and banning guns. You know,
Germany or wherever,
right, we
South
not doing
America.
That. They coming here.
Right.
So they giving us the full advantage to put into use.
So this is like genocide. This is setting people up to take themselves out. Let's talk a little bit about the economic situation in the area where you're from. Can you tell me, are there jobs? Do people want to hire? Do people want to train people for jobs? This is the first time you've been in the Restorative Justice Hub?
Yes, ma'am.
We have a gentleman that's going to come up later who's been through this process twice, who can give us a real insight on what's going on in the street. Are there jobs? Where's the work?
Yeah, I mean, you got people out here who want to give kids jobs, you know, but it's just up to us to take the responsibility to work, you know, to come up on our own instead of ask for handouts, you know, on the corner selling drugs, trying to make money, where it's way more money out there than just standing on the corner. So, you know, you got some people who want to see us do good, you know, they offer us opportunities, you know, and then you have some people who don't want to see you do good. They want you to go through what they done went through already.
They don't want to see you raise up.
Right. They want to see you down.
Yeah, so that they can utilize whatever talents you have or money. Let's talk a little bit about you personally. What kind of talents and things do you have? What is it that you enjoy? What floats your boat? What makes you feel that you're at the best of who you are as a human being?
I mean,
what do you do?
I just enjoy life, you know. I enjoy waking up every morning knowing that I'm somewhat safe, you feel me?
Yes.
Even though I go outside every day, have to watch over my shoulders, you know, but other than that, you know, it's a lot of worry. You gotta worry about so much.
So this is stressful. This is a stressful existence.
It's very stressful. It's like you just can't walk outside and just walk down the street without somebody driving past looking at you crazy, trying to figure out who you is, or somebody driving past throwing up gang signs and you reacting to it, you feel me? So it's just crazy.
Well, tell me this. If you were to have your dream job, your dream career, let's not just say job, let's say your dream career, and your dream car and your dream place to live, would it be Chicago? Would it be Chicago?
I mean, growing up, no, it wouldn't be Chicago. Cause I done seen so much violence, then did a lot of violence, So it's just like you get tired of it and you want to get away from it.
Wow.
So
Do you think there's hope for Chicago?
Yeah, we got a lot of hope. There's so much talent out here, and people don't realize that. They don't see it.
Okay. Wow, that's really deep. We're going to give our information once again, and it's called the Woodlawn Restorative Justice Hub, and it is the WRJ Hub. That telephone number is 773-536-9317. Once again, that telephone number is 773-536-9317. Our email address is wrjhub@gmail.com. We have another guest right now. And your name, sir?
Calvin Gwynn.
Calvin Gwynn. We want to really thank Mr. Gwynn for coming to be here today. He's suffering from a really bad toothache, but he really wanted to come and tell a little bit about his story, who he is, and what he aspires to be. And as the Woodlawn Restorative Justice Hub, we are here to try to make sure that he gets a chance to be everything that he has the ability to be. So can you tell us a little bit about who you are? And I promise you I won't keep you long. I'm so glad that you made it, not only through traffic, but that you made it here.
Who I am. A person that's trying to make it out. That's basically what I could say. I really too much can't give you a lot of information on who I am because I really don't know too much.
You're in the process.
Yeah.
You sound like me. I'm in the process of getting to where I'm supposed to be and who I'm supposed to be. It's been a journey, but yeah, I agree. What is it you like to do, Cal?
I like to play basketball.
Are you good at it?
Yeah, I'm very good at it.
You're very good at it.
Yeah.
So you're athletic, and so that's physical skill, mental agility. Do you think you would want to pursue it?
Yes.
You do want to pursue it. Can you tell me a little bit about what life is for you, what it's like day to day?
Hard.
Why do you say hard? Explain to our
The
viewers.
reason why I say it's hard because you never know if you're going to make it or not. You never know if it's going to be your last day. Coming up from where I come from, you got to think like that. Leaving out the house, if you're going to make it back to the house, if you're going to make it to your destination or not. So I say it's kind of hard coming from where I come from. I don't know about everybody else, but me, personally, I say it's kind of hard.
Okay, what can we do to make it better, Calvin?
What can we do to make it better?
What can we do to make it better?
That's a good question. A very good question.
I want to see it be. I'd love to see not only you, but so many of us in the community get our due. And I've met with Calvin for about the last week or two, and I've seen such a level of intelligence. It made me weep. It made me weep. It brought me to tears. I want to be totally active now, and I'm in the retirement stage, whatever that is. Retired from working, but not retired from helping. So what can we do to make it better? What can we do?
Try to change the violence, you know what I'm saying? Try to get everybody, you know what I'm saying, to come to an agreement instead of a disagreement most of the time, because that's what it all, like, mostly be out here is disagreement. Can't nobody come together on nothing.
Little petty button up the heads is causing all this death?
Yeah. Petty things.
Money. Talk about money in the community. Talk about what we need to do to restore people's dignity. What can we do to restore dignity?
Get more jobs. They need to have more job openings for a lot, because most people ain't got nothing to do besides stand outside and figure out the next plan. So I say more jobs.
So everybody's kind of at a point now where they're just barely existing, not really living, just kind of getting by.
Mm-hmm.
What do we say and do for the babies? Tell me a little bit about what little kids see. What do they see? What do we put in front of them? What kind of hope do we give them? We got a caller. Can I take this call and then you come back and answer? I'll re-answer. Caller, you're on the air. Caller? I'm sorry, we've got a bad connection.
Hello?
Yes, hello.
Hi. So, what I wanted to ask, I was listening to what the young man just said.
Mhm.
I've heard a lot of people say that a lot of the people who are involved, like in the violence, do so because, like, one, they don't have work, and two, they aren't in school. And like in your experience and your opinion, like, is that the case? Like, do people like need more access to education, like not even jobs, just like the skills to go out and get like a legit job that pays a decent wage?
Yeah, I say more jobs and more education. That'll be the best thing for a lot of us out here on the street. Because most of us don't even have an education. You know what I'm saying? We make it somewhat through school, and then that's about it. And then they just cut it out for everybody. The people that don't make it like that, it's hard for them out here. So they really not trying to get that. So I say, yeah, more education and more jobs.
Caller, that's a good question. We'd like to know what are you viewing? What are you viewing in the street? What do you see going on? What's your take on this? Are you still there with us, caller? Wow, we might have lost her. Let's go back to my question, and then we're going to let you rest a little bit. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, he is really under the weather, and he's got a really bad toothache, and he really made a really hard effort to come through Chicago Friday traffic to get here to be able to speak with you today. So we're very glad to have Calvin with us. How can we help you, and how can we help the babies under you? What can we do? What can we realistically do?
Get some more guidance. Like, we need some more people to take charge instead of trying to do what the next man wants you to do. That's basically everything that the kids see. They just see what the next man trying to do to prove to the next person. So I say we need more leaders than anything. We don't have too many leaders out here at all, because everybody out here trying to do their own thing, and then everybody trying to follow the same trait.
Wow, that's deep. I tell you what, thank you for coming, Calvin. We really, really, really appreciate you. Once again, we're going to switch out and tell you a little bit about the Woodlawn Restorative Justice Hub. It is WRJ Hub. That's our acronym. Our telephone number is 773-536-9317. Our email address is wrjhub@gmail.com. And callers, we invite you once again to call in if you have any questions. Call us at the number that's at the bottom of your screen, which is 312-738-1060. Once again, 312-738-1060. We have another young man who took his time out today to come and fight traffic to get here with us, who is a member of the WRJ Hub. So can we have you introduce yourself to the audience?
Yeah, my name is Timothy Williams. I am an active member of the Woodlawn Restorative Justice Hub.
Okay. Tell us a little bit about what the Restorative Justice Hub does. What does it do?
It helps the children out in the neighborhood, and like with recreational centers, there's options out there and things for them to do in the neighborhood.
Okay. What do you see going on with the youth? What was going on? What's really going on?
I don't know if I can really say that, like really, but it's hard out there for the youth. The youth they struggling hard. Some of them was trying to be adults and choosing an adult path.
Yes, I hear that. Is there hope? Is there any hope in the community?
Yeah, it's hope. It's most definitely hope.
So we're not defeated in the community. We're just struggling, trying to find our way so that we can have some, it's not even a piece of the pie. What do you say? Respect and a chance at a better life?
Yeah.
Do you think people are posturing? The gentleman talked about, the caller earlier talked about, well, people are just, they're not really doing anything. They're just wanting to be on TV and posturing. Do you think people are really trying to help?
Yeah, I do.
You really do?
Yes. Definitely.
Is it making a difference?
Yeah, somewhat, yeah.
What do you think will cure some of this to help make it better now? Well, I know we're looking 4 or 5 years down the line and trying to help some of the younger children, but you're right in the thick of it right now. You tell me, look at our audience and tell our audience what it is that we need to do so that you can make a difference in people's lives. Tell us a little bit about that.
We need more leaders. We most definitely need more leaders out here. And people that's willing to follow the right path out here. Is like today, this morning I seen the news. They closing out schools from kindergarten to 12th grade. You feel me? And that's a shock in the community, especially a poverty community.
Wow.
So.
Wow. What's going on in the schools? Are the schools really helping? Are the schools teaching, or are they just getting whatever numbers they need to get funds for? Are the teachers able to teach? Are parents active? What's going on?
It's the government's fault.
It's the government's fault. Explain that, because you have a right to that opinion. Explain that. What do you think that means?
The government know what's going on out here. It's a setup. It's failure for us black people out here. And we struggling hard, trying, and they see that, and they know they can't let a certain amount of us make it out these certain neighborhoods and provide for these neighborhoods. So they're starting with our school system, no education.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want us to get smart. Next.
Right. So let's wipe a generation or two out. So genocide, pretty basic. Hold on, I want to do something really special. I want to get a male perspective and a female perspective of what's going on. And I'm going to ask one of our other guests to come back and talk to us a little bit. While we switch that out, I want the Restorative Justice Hub information to come up, and that is Woodlawn Restorative Justice Hub. That phone number is 773-536-9317. And our email address is wrjhub@gmail.com. I want you guys to talk a little bit about what's going on, and then share, just have a real short discussion, male and female, about what you think is going on and what needs to be done. So let's just take 5 minutes to do that. You up for that? Cool. You're on here. Either one can start.
Okay, and what's the question? How do we think that things could be changed?
How can things be changed? How do we fix this? Give me a male perspective and a female perspective.
Well, a lot of things can be changed. Like one of our people said earlier, with the families. Basically, how people are brought up, how they are raised, how their older people are bringing up the youth. Basically, send them to school, different activities that they like, as I said before earlier. Don't point them in the wrong direction, because a lot of adults are pointing the youth into the wrong direction. They're giving them guns instead of giving them book bags. They're giving them drugs instead of giving them opinions or options to work or things like that. So as far as that goes, I think that a lot of the adults need to step up and be an adult instead of trying to be young and still kick it with younger people, or having 13-year-olds hanging around them and they're about 32 because they know that the 13-year-old is going to go out and do their dirty work. So I feel like it's a lot of older people that have the youth out here doing things that they shouldn't be doing, and that's why they are heading in the wrong direction. So that's how I feel about the situation.
I feel you on that. I feel a lot similar to that. It is like that out here. Like I said earlier, the youth growing up too fast, they missing their childhood, and a lot of them getting snatched at an early age, trying to be adults. So they're really missing their childhood. So I know the community, certain communities try to reach out. Like, we not the only restorative justice hub that it is. It's a couple more of us out there. And we going to these hard neighborhoods, and we trying to show these youth that is more out there than hanging on the block. Like one of the guys said earlier, it's a lot more than that. And you follow them.
Basically, We are the Woodlawn Restorative Justice Hub. Our phone number is 773-536-9317. Our email is wrjhub@gmail.com, and that's how you can contact us.
I need you here right now, baby. Okay, we're going to sign out a little bit. We want to see were any callers coming in right now. Did you have any questions, any points that we maybe missed, maybe an opinion of what we might have missed? And we want to thank everybody who participated. We had Kiana Butler, we had Calvin, we had Sean, Timothy just left out, and we want to thank you so much for coming today. Do you think we made a difference?
Yes.
You do?
Yes.
Do you think, do you think there's hope? Do you think there's some hope for the future of what can be done and how we can kind of make this a little better? As not only just a way of life, but also for us to be able to kind of lay a foundation for the next generation. I'm really worried about the generation that's under you and the one coming.
Mm-hmm.
Are we making a difference?
Yes. I believe that a lot of people need to just join a program that they would like and that they can talk about their situations, because when people talk about their situations, it helps a lot instead of holding it in and not saying nothing, and that's where a lot of anger build up inside of someone. So yes, I feel like we are making a difference, and the more the youth watches us or see us, then I believe that more will join. So yes.
Okay, great. Once again, let me give you this information of who we are, and we're going to have Ms. Butler come and take us out. We are the Woodlawn Restorative Justice Hub. That's WRJ Hub. The phone number is 773-536-9317. Our email address is wrjhub@gmail.com. Okay, Ms. Butler, we want to thank you once again for coming back on. Can you give us a little bit to take us out about what you think we can do to make a difference? We've got like 40 seconds, so we'll get you to do it shortly. What's going on?
I think that what we could do to make the community better is basically just get more involved in our kids. Instead of letting the streets raise our kids, we just need to be more involved in what our kids do. There's no reason that a 5-year-old should be outside at 6 o'clock at 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night and the parents nowhere to be found.
Mm-hmm.
There's no reason that a 13-year-old could be telling their mom that I'm not going to come in their house at this time. I just think we just need to get more involved in our kids' lives and bring back that parenthood again. And that'll get back to our communities.
I think that's absolutely wonderful. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions, we're going to take it out right now. And that telephone number is 312-738-1060. Once again, 312-738-1060. This has been great for me to have these young people come today. They came through a lot of Chicago Friday traffic to get here, and it was a struggle today, but they did make it, and they wanted not only to share their stories, but to share their lives so that you guys know what's going on. So once again, we are the Woodlawn Restorative Justice Hub. That's the WRJ Hub. Telephone number 773-536-9317. Email wrjhub@gmail.com. And we hope to see you soon. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching.